The first part will now be started, and you are going to listen to the most trend-setting stories and speeches of representatives of national tourist offices. And the first speaker will be Ksenia Kodakova, head of department of the Ministry of Tourism of Israel in Russia and CIS. Just a couple of words right now. We have had a great study of this market, as Alexei said. And when we were given examples of the most advanced digital tour offices, all my colleagues said, guys, you should go to Israel. So please meet Ksenia Kobakova.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you all. I'm truly delighted to see a lot of colleagues here and a lot of familiar faces. So good morning to you all, and I'm sending you greetings from a sunny Israel, because I just flew in last night. First and foremost, I would like to thank Profi.Travel and Anton for setting up this important event, important and interesting one. And thank you for appreciating our work. It is always a pleasure to see your work being appreciated, and that's the whole point of us doing this work. I'll give you several figures which we are proud of. In 2017, we had record growth of the number of tourists in Israel. 3.6 million people traveled to Israel from all over the world, with the US being the first in terms of the number of incoming tourists, and Russia is stably holding the second place and with 25% growth. And I would like to disclose our dearest secrets to you today, and the first secret is our budget. This is the budget of the Minister of Tourism of Israel in Russia. 85% of this budget is pledged for B2C promotion, and 15% of the budget goes for B2B promotion. And out of the total budget, B2B in offline segment is like seminars, workshops, conferences, and so on. That accounts for just 10% of the total budget, and B2B digital segment is 5%, and B2C offline, which stands for TV advertising, billboards, advertising in press, takes up 60% of our budget. B2C and digital promotion takes up 20%, and the ministry and our department in particular 2 years ago took a strategic decision to start promoting in digital segment, simply because a lot of you are aware of the fact that in recent years a trend emerged that online digital promotion is far more efficient, and it is catching up with TV advertising, and experts forecast that next year it will overtake TV advertising in terms of advertising efficiency. And every person spends up to 4 hours a day in the internet, and we need to be there. We need to be where our customers are. Just a couple of words regarding how we choose projects and why we choose those which we finally choose. We also do the context advertising, and we use banners, and we promote our products through Yandex and Google. However, now consumers become, let's say, almost blind. They do not watch TV commercials. They switch to a different channel, or they go to make a cup of coffee, and consumers stopped seeing and stopped looking at banners in the internet. So we are heavily focusing on special projects. with the sole purpose
значит,
of
для того,
attracting
чтобы
more consumers,
он не чувствовал, что это, да,
so
дорого,
that
для того,
our
чтобы
customers
больше
do not
рассказать
feel
ему
that this
интересно
is
о
actually
нашем продукте, мы
that our
какие-то
story about the
вещи
product is actually advertising or commercial.
внедрили в эту
We want
программу.
to be engaging. We want our
Во-первых,
customers to
мы
interact with our
выбрали
product.
всяких ведущих медиа, в
So
первую
we
очередь,
we pick
чтобы была
leading
возможность
media
разных
so
видеогайдов,
that we could give
интерактивных,
them
текстовых
long
и
reads and
аудиофайлов.
guides. We
Здесь,
can
например,
make it
те инструменты,
interactive and we
которые
can make it
выбрали за последние
on a contest
года.
basis. So we have several examples
Наш
here on
лучший
the
проект
slide. And
опять-таки,
the best
результатам
project, the best performing project we had within the last 2 years was Travel Ask, and the impression was over 4 million. And the idea of this project was as follows. Together with Travel Ask, we came up with a number of guides like Israel for gourmet people or Israel for travelers. And we also, based on that content, we developed a contest. And the winner of this contest won a trip to Israel. There is another example. Is there something wrong with the presentation? You mean several slides are missing? Okay, let's try to manage without those slides somehow. Okay, I have the information in hand. So I've told you about our project with Travel Ask, and there was another one with L.ru. And the idea of that project was as follows. We wanted to show Israel as an ideal destination for traveling all year round. So how did we do this? We used L's portal, and there was interactive calendar on that portal where a user could pick up a month of his birth and take a look at what's interesting. Is there something interesting happening in Israel on that month? Like, for example, some desert is in blossom, or there are some concerts, international events, just to illustrate the point that Israel is a traveling destination all year round. There was another interesting project in which we tried to picture Israel as a place where you should go at least once in your life. So we asked the users, what is it that they wanted to do in their life just once? And then we gave them a application on the interactive map of Israel where their dream can come true. Let's say somebody wants to travel to Mars, and we say, welcome to our Negev desert, because it has Martian landscape. Or if you want to travel in time, then welcome to Jerusalem. That's the one of the most ancient cities in the earth. That you can have an option of traveling 1,000 years back. And another interesting and engaging project is this one. We had it together with AdMe. I think we're all aware of what AdMe is. And within the framework of that project, we had, let's say, we built a questionnaire or a test showing how good a traveler you are. So every user which took this test got some sort of a response like, for example, you're the best guide, go to Jerusalem, or you're the most beautiful seal in the seaside, so go to the seaside, or you're the king of the beach parties, so go to travel to Tel Aviv. That test, though, that survey is still online. So if you are interested in finding out what kind of a traveler you are, please, I encourage you to go to AdMe website and take this and answer questions from this survey. In terms of choosing ways of digital promotion, apart from popularity, one should take into account another important thing like affinity and ability to target your advertising events. And it is important that all those who promote their project, they need to calculate how many people saw your advert and how many people bought your product. And it is always a great pleasure to see results, and I think today will be other speakers will focus on this as well. And also a couple of words regarding B2B digital promotion. It's about webinars that we hold together with Satori and together with tour operators. We have an online academy, and we also have a group in Facebook, goisrael.pro, and this is a group for professionals. So it's a B2B group. And speaking about B2C segment, we have web pages on all mainstream social media which are present here in Russia, and we have 3 websites. One is generic website, another one is devoted particularly to our Eilat product, and another one is devoted to Jerusalem. So 3 different websites, and I understand that I'm running out of time. Okay, if that's the case, then let me conclude by saying that it is extremely important to maintain your presence in the internet now, because digital promotion is something that gives you true results. And we are a great example of this fact. So for those of you who have not paid their attention to this yet, please focus on this. For those of you who do focus on it, focus even harder. And I wish each and every one of you a success. Ksenia, thank you very much. And let me apologize for the small glitch with your presentation. But Ksenia, thank you very much. And I encourage you to take that survey. And I'm a SEAL in line with that classification. So. And now we'll have the next speaker. Ksenia was talking about B2C. However, in B2B segment, there is also room for fun and for games. And Anastasia Startseva, the representative from Dubai Tourism Organization and Russia, Ukraine, and CIS and the Baltics. And her presentation is Dubai Expert, Gamification in Educating B2B Customers to Tourist Products. Good morning, dear colleagues. I'm delighted to welcome you all here. And my name is Anastasia, and I represent the Tourist Department of Dubai here in Russia, Ukraine, CIS, and the Baltic states. And I'm delighted to show you the super efficient tool for tourist industry. Dubai Tourism took quite a long time to develop this tool, and now this tool is at service to professionals in tourism. So Dubai Expert was developed by Dubai Tourist College and was first presented in April 2018 in one of the exhibitions in Dubai. Tourist College of Dubai is an organization which was set up by Dubai, the Tourist Ministry, in order to educate professionals in the tourist business. So now that's the game. We call it the game because that's an interactive piece of software based on gamification principle, and it is built for the purpose of making sure that tourist professionals professionals of tourist business will get more and more information about Dubai. Currently, this application is available at 12 languages, and it was first presented in April at ATM exhibition, and in several months from then it was translated into several languages, and now it is available in over than 40 countries of the world, including Russia. In Russia, it is available in Russian. And Profi.Travel is working on improving the level of tourist professionals to make sure that those tourists who travel to Dubai can get the highest possible quality of service. So Dubai Tourism, so that's Dubai have built Dubai Expert. This is that application, and Dubai Way. This is the educational program focused on educating tourist professionals in Dubai. And here you can see how these two programs work at different stages of this travel. So at the informational stage, at the booking stage, planning and booking stage, you can get assistance with in contacting the travel agency and booking agency, and these booking agencies should have very good knowledge of that destination so that they can sell it properly and they can come up with tailor-made tourist itineraries for their customers. And another point, when tourists come to Dubai, they should have an opportunity to get the highest possible service, and this is something which this destination is famous for, and they should have access to multiple tourist options and attractions. More than 500,000 tourist professionals plan to undergo trainings within the framework of this program by 2020. So Dubai Expert, this is the loading page. It's a web-based application. Don't need to download anything. Just click on that link and let your browser open it. Google Chrome and Firefox are best in working with this application. So from the opening page, you go to the registration page. So you get registered. And in the top left corner, there are language options. So this application is currently available at 12 languages, including Russian. And we are getting very positive feedback from our colleagues who have already tried this application. And they mentioned that the translation is excellent. So what differentiates Dubai Expert from other educational programs for touring professionals? This application is interactive. Let's say you have customers, like a family with two kids, and you have a deck of cards from which you should pick tourist attractions and tourist, let's say, impressions for that particular category of customers. So you need to know to what extent that sort of a tourist impression suits your category of customers. So it's like it's about preparing the tailor-made experience in Dubai for your particular customers. And here we can see several stages of this journey, and the application is telling you whether you gave the right answer or not. And you can go over and over again just to make sure you have a better score. There are 25 videos in this game. They are very informative. They give you a great idea about the tourist attraction which you are planning to pick. And also there is a number of tests and questions just to test your knowledge about Dubai. Here is a 2D map with Dubai tourist attraction and our tourists. For example, here we have a group of 3 young men who are traveling to Dubai on their own, and you can come up with a number of tourist attractions for them. The highest mark you can get there is excellent, or all in all there are 3 grades. Just as an example, a screen from this application. So you give a correct answer to a question, and then the next question gets unlocked. Let me try and play the video for you. Please put the video on. Just to give you an idea how that works. So you pick up a mission or you pick up a particular assignment. So there are your tourists. So in this particular case, it's a family with two kids who are grown up already. So you can pick up something extreme for them. And here, this video features Dubai Marina in JBR. There is skydiving is available there. So excellent shopping, bars, restaurants, beaches, nightlife, and so on and so forth. Anything you may like.
After that, you can have romantic walks and trips on cruise boats. This is indeed very romantic. And you can see this video. There are video clips that are pretty short. There are 25 of them. And you can understand what's happening in this district of Dubai and whether this location suits your tourist categories. So it's quite clear. Here are your tourists, and you can choose any experience. For example, your tourists want some adventure on sands, like a safari, and then you can see the results. So it's pretty simple. And you can go back if you are not pleased with your results. You can go back and do your mission once again. And we have agencies who have had the same task several times because they are perfectionists. Moreover, we suggest that every half a year you pass this Dubai expert once again because Dubai is never the same. It keeps developing. There are new locations and venues that come up. For example, recently Safari Park appeared there because more than 1,000 species of animals live there. It was free of charge for the first 2 weeks, and people really loved it. We also have Dubai Frame. It's a unique architectural structure, 150 meters, and it separates Dubai New and the historical Dubai. It's also a very interesting place. And furthermore, there is a unique La Perle show which was set up by Franco Dragona. It's a unique show. 2.5 million liters of water just for one show, and 450 shows per year. You can only see it in Dubai. The Dubai Expert software is updated regularly because of that, so you're welcome to download it. And it's great that this software is in the form of a game, so it's really interactive. It's really entertaining, it's fun. Many people like it. The higher note you get, the more chances you have to become a real expert on Dubai. And we have two types of certificates. A certificate of completion, that's when you have completed 20 tasks and have seen all the video clips, but maybe you stopped a little bit shorter than necessary because there is also the level of Dubai Expert Plus. Because there are 30 tasks that you completed, you've seen all Dubai clips, and you have answered all the questions on Dubai. So please test your knowledge on Dubai. I'm sure that many people have been there and many people know a lot about it, but Dubai Expert opens it from another side. So come to Dubai, it's unique. Thank you, Anastasia, for this very interesting presentation. I really love Dubai. Over the past few months, I've been there twice, and I think I will really use this software. Great. Have you seen the show? Yes. Okay, I congratulate you. Thank you. I believe that my colleagues will develop this software both in B2B and B2C. It's really very interesting. It's a very interesting game case. And now I invite to this stage Anna Kaganovich, manager of the project for marketing of the National Tourism Office of Germany. We have Anna Belikova in the program, but unfortunately she got ill and she was not able to come here. Thank you very much for agreeing to speak instead of her. And her presentation is really within the trend of our conference. So how we really brought our budgets from offline to digital. We're listening to the National Tourism Office of Germany. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, dear organizers, for the opportunity to speak here. And you can see me on the screen. I am replacing my colleague Al today. And today we are going to introduce a very relevant topic. Everyone has been speaking recently that the tourist world is changing dramatically because of the development of new technologies. And I will tell you what's happening in this case with the Tourist Office of Germany. So can we start a little bit with how we um, existed earlier? We have been in Russia since 1997, and a lion's share of the budget that was allocated for the Russian market used to be the involvement of the German Tourist Office in MITT. A few figures. Indeed, that's a pretty big figure. About 88,000 euros every year was used for the exhibition booths for that exhibition. About 250,000 euros was the rent of the exhibition surface. And this was the model when most of the budget of the Germany office was spent on this exhibition. But with time, we started to realize that, of course, this is all about huge money expenditures, huge effort, and the efficiency of our participation became lower and lower, which is why we started to think about how we can build our strategy of promotion on the Russian market in the new realities. And we decided to stop participating in MITT. We left that venue and we started to organize more local and less mass-scale events which do not require this type of expenditure. And we started to reallocate our budgets in favor of B2C. What is paramount here is, as I already said, the development of online technologies, the appearance of new booking channels, and the figures speak for themselves. For example, in 2016, about 81% of bookings for Germany were the individual bookings of Russians. And here's the statistics of the Embassy of Germany. Today, it's 90% of the applicants. They are individual applicants who book travels on their own independently without using the services of tourist operators. I think the important role is played here by the factor of a change of generations. We all know that today there are the so-called millennials who have become consumers with high purchasing capability, high purchasing power, and they are more individualist. They do not want to buy standardized package tours like three capitals within 3 days. And furthermore, the older generation has already seen within the past 15 to 20 years whatever they could see, I mean, the standard formats, and they are also looking for new formats. What is easier now is the process of issuing visas. Today there are 19 visa service centers of Germany in Russia, which provide a broad range of services for tourists. And this has really become very simple. On an individual basis, you can get a visa, and this really contributes to this independent trend. As I already mentioned, the tour operators usually offer standardized packages and offers which are not in line with today's requirements and demands. In order to develop our own strategy while allocating our budgets, we need to be aware of what channels are the preferable for our consumers. And every year we can see the trend within which consumers go online more and more frequently. They start using more and more social media. They read blogs of online media. And of course, there are the classical formats like TV and radio, which are still relevant. And of course, we support them as well. Which is why our B2C communications can naturally be divided into pure online and also offline, but we work offline with the offline channel less. We work less with radio and TV, and we focus more and more on various meta searches, on interaction with bloggers, influencers, OTA meta search platforms, and so on. And in this context, I would like to introduce several of our cases which could show very well what we do, how we do that, and how we measure the efficiency of what we do. One of such examples is our special project. The previous speaker from the Israel office already mentioned the focus on special projects. This is really very important for tourist offices, and we do support this initiative actively because we believe that this really supports image positioning of a destination. And this is a project which we have carried out together with Aviasales. Now that we have a limited budget, we choose really simple mechanics, simple projects for our promotion. For example, we issued this advent calendar, and every day the user could see a new window where he could see information about a new city, about a new market, and he or she was supposed to share this online in the social media, and this resulted in a viral effect. And our digital generator chose one user randomly who got special prizes. And what we could see as a result was as follows: the total coverage of more than 2.5 million users. We had about 20,000 unique visitors of the landing project, and more than 1,000 people really participated in this. They shared the results and the information from the Advent calendar in their social media. Furthermore, we are working a lot with bloggers, and one example is the group Instagram Tours. So we work actively with that, and this year in particular, we can give you this example. This is a trip to the Saxonia region, where our task was to promote the tourist potential of this region. We brought together the top influencers who traveled around the cities and various locations of Saxonia for several days, and in a real-time mode, and there was the post phase, of course. They told everyone about the attractions of this region. The total coverage was 3.5 million people, and the number of posts within this campaign really went through the roof because the amount of content was unexpected even for bloggers themselves, because Germany has a lot to offer. And we included here 134 posts who were shared actively by a lot of other accounts. And even though the initial target coverage was much less, we got a very impressive coverage as a result. And one other example is our event with the platform Anyway, Any Day. We organized a contest there with the classical test mechanics, and some of the people present here are probably aware that there was a World Cup on hockey last time in Germany, and we had a trip in the lottery, a trip to the match with the national Russian team. So we organized a contest where the users answered some questions on this city, on the game of hockey. Of course, they shared some results, and the winners also were also randomly chosen, and as a result, the winner got the opportunity to go to Germany and watch the match with the participation of the national Russian hockey team. Our coverage, total coverage, was 197,000 users. We had a lot of, more than 600,000 views of the page, and thousands of people participated in this campaign. So these are our results, and this is just a small part of what we do in digital and what I would like to give you as an example. Thank you very much, Anya. Now we are letting you go, and colleagues, I can remind you that we are at the OTM Digital Days conference. I'm glad that we have a lot of people here, which is why we decided to do this conference as compact as we can. And we have a 15-minute break, and so we have a deadline of 15 minutes. And when you see this the sound, it means that your time is over, because we can't speak for too long. And now I invite Mr. Smirnov, coordinator of the Government Tourism Administration of Macau in Russia. And I can tell you that working with bloggers is really a fashionable thing, is what is really done. But it's a very complicated work, and Dmitry will tell us about it.
Listen, thank you very much. The question you ask is a rhetoric question. I would say how you pick bloggers and how you work with them properly. I don't know. Here is an answer to this question. So let me start my talk with a brief story. 2 months ago, on his Facebook page, one of my friends made a post which stirred up our other friends, but he himself is a very talented journalist and a well-known journalist. And 5 years ago, he had no idea that he will be involved in such discussion in social media. So he posted a statement saying that travel journalism, in its best tradition and shape, is so travel journalism, which traces its origin to Manastroa and Stanislav Kondrashov, is dying now, and it's ceding its positions to those people who cannot write and cannot properly express their thoughts. But these people have millions of subscribers in social media and other online forums and platforms. So on one hand, they're doing the right thing. They attract people's attention to tourism, but on the other hand, they reduce the quality of travel writing. And I actually don't know what to say about it. And I'm not here on this stage to make judgments. So there are people who write the right things, and there are influential bloggers. An influential blogger is someone who may have from 500,000 to 3 million or 1.5 million subscribers. And the right blogger is one who can properly express himself. As far as Macau is concerned, we have stumbled a lot over the question who should be regarded as influential blogger or right blogger. But our discussions were mostly about the specifics of our business in Macau. Just to give you an idea of our achievements, I'd like to give you several figures. In 2013, we enjoyed a spike of tourist interest to Macau, and in 2015, we suffered some loss, but then we went back to growth. And now, if we take a look at the figures of 2017, we are over 27,000 travelers from Russia, and we're contributing from 7 to 9% to Macau's growth very sustainably. And online promotion has a lot to do with this, simply because though Russians who are traveling to Macau, normally they are wealthy people, and we have some figures illustrating the trip of how people from Russia travel to Macau. 68% come from Hong Kong on a ferry boat, 21% walk to Macau, because between Macau and the nearest Chinese city, Jihao, there is a very congested border crossing point. So they come from Guangdong, from the Chinese province of Guangdong, and 11% of travelers come by train, with connection flights from Thailand, Singapore, or Hong Kong again. Here is the pie chart showing the distribution of our advertising cost. So we are focusing on blogging, tours, and the digital segment. So we've got almost 40% of Russian travelers, and in recent years that figure grew by 6%. And these are the people who are in the age which makes them most susceptible for the influence of social media, and we have up to 16% of elderly travelers. So prehistory. We have discussed a lot what we were planning to do, and to start with, we did not have a clear-cut concept. From 2013, we maintained stable presence in online segment, and we have our Facebook page, and we had a team of bloggers, and we thought that this is the peak of our performance, and jointly they have up to 300,000 subscribers in Instagram. But as of the end of 2014, we believe that we have come to the limit of the improvement. But in 2015, we have changed our strategy a bit, and there was a number of bloggers who we found quite difficult to control, and we decided to start taking newsmakers to Macau, and we chose those people who were opinion makers in social media, like famous actors or famous performers. So with some media support, they made it to Macau. But given the fact that these editions have high circulations, but glamour magazines coming to an end. And as far as Instagram is concerned, these celebrities or newsmakers or opinion leaders, Instagram accounted for a relatively small portion of coverage as compared to average opinion leaders in social media. It was from 70,000 to 100,000 people. In 2015, a new focus emerged because Macau has an extensive cooking tradition. And last year, actually, an important event happened, as was decided by the Secretary General of UNESCO. Macau was nominated for participation in cities of the world, and it has become the 25th city in the world with a status of like a cooking capital. And we started to invite more and more chefs to our city. The benefits of that was that these chefs were bloggers, but they have dismal coverage in Instagram, less than 10,000 people in general. But the effect came from the fact that these restaurants are popular, are well known, so it was the word of mouth advertising. So people kept talking about their cooking experience, and they spread this information by the word of mouth. In 2017, we invited a TV crew to our city, and that TV program had very good coverage in YouTube, and they have a big number of subscribers on Instagram. That leaving alone the number of their subscribers for the main program. That action bore fruit, but so there was an upside and the downside of that. Out of the 2.5 million of subscribers to the YouTube channel, we got less than 10,000 views, which performance that we didn't like a lot. So the question, answering the question, so what should we do and how we pick bloggers? Do we pick influential bloggers or, let's say, right bloggers? We decided to go for a large-scale project, which resulted in us reaching out to almost 3 million internet users. So we had 1.5 million users coverage on YouTube and over 1 million on Instagram. So, and we organized this trip to this group of bloggers without any support from our office in Russia and any support from our major office in Macau. So we worked out all this trip in detail. 2 months before the trip, account manager from the travel agency visited Macau. That meant for us taking certain risk because we didn't want to influence in any way the members of the group. So they went on their own. Nobody tried to oversee them during this trip, and nobody tried to influence their opinion in any way. So we relied on support from our travel agency. So who are these bloggers? The YouTube channel called Pora Valit, and more than 600,000 users watched that video about Macau, as compared to our previous experience when we only had 10,000 views. So feel the difference. One of these two bloggers have had 460 subscribers on his Instagram, and 200,000 came from another one. So the total number of likes and shares of those posts went over 400,000. Another blogger did not post quite a lot of posts, but the total coverage was up to 400,000 people. And yet one more blogger, Sofia Filipova, who had around 15 posts. And actually these figures are valid as of the date of that report. The report was compiled several weeks ago. So in general, we had up to 600,000 people. That was the reach of that action. Number of conclusions we made. So which blogger you pick, that depends on the context of your event. So you look at the age, you look at the profile of your target group, and bloggers' influence shall not be necessarily measured by the number of likes and shares. You need to take a longer-term look at it. So we'll be going from working with mass bloggers, with focus bloggers who have better writing, those who represent those who can produce high quality and interesting texts. So that project worked because we improvised a lot, but improvisation is only good if you prepare it properly, and I think thanks to professional support from our travel agency, we managed to achieve success. And like I said, 38% of Russians traveling to Macau are from 26 to 35 years old, and so probably we will see in future that older people give us even more flexibility, so we need to take that into account. Thank you very much. I think that was a good use of your time. And thank you, Dmitry. And Dmitry has moved us forward in terms of working with bloggers, but we'll talk about it shortly after. And now I'm delighted to announce the next speaker, and I'm personally delighted to do so, because this talk will be done by our partners who work with Profi.Travel loyalty, and this is the project that we cherish. This is the Profi.Travel loyalty, is a loyalty program for the tourist market, and it's about travel agencies testing the tourist products on online exhibitions, and these travel agencies score points for these testings, and they can book this product and they can get even more points. And we can see the upshot effect from this. And it was a very interesting effect for us. And I'm delighted to see that in 2017, Abu Dhabi Department of Traveling and Tourism was the partner to this program. So I'm delighted to announce Eduard Grigoriev, the head of Travel and Tourism Department of Abu Dhabi in Russia and CIS. Eduard Grigoriev, experience of interacting with leaders in the traveling business through online loyalty system. So let me start with saying that my story today is not about clicks, online metrics, traffic. It is about interaction. It is about how ideas come about. It is about implementing these ideas. And the story started, well, actually, this story answers a question, why, and not the question, how. And it started a year and a half ago in autumn 2016. So in autumn 2016, in one Moscow restaurant, over a cup of coffee, maybe not coffee. So I had a meeting with my friend and the organizer of this event, Alexei Vengin. So a lot of you know him personally, I understand. We do not meet frequently, but we meet on a regular basis just to get on the same page, and we talk over different things. And in that particular case, we talked about travel agencies and about their role in this triangle, the tour, travel operator, travel agency. So we talked about possible ways to engage and tap into the full potential of travel agency potential. So 4 months after that discussion, we saw a creative team from Profit.Travel coming up with a loyalty program, and they've offered us an opportunity to become their general partner. So follow a piece of advice of Keita Firazze: never eat alone. So we tested it. It works. So why did we decide to participate in Profit.Travel loyalty program? The first reason is this: we need travel agencies. And I'm sure that in the current conditions, this triangle among National Tourist Office, travel operator, and travel agency, the focus is shifting towards the agency, because these are the people, creative people, who, provided they are inspired enough and they have enough information, so if they have the right product in this situation, they are ready and they will be promoting your products with maximum possible performance. Another reason is community, or traffic, as performance marketing people call it. People are social creatures, and they tend to form communities. These communities bear ideas, let's say, bear prevailing ideas, because some ideas prevail in these communities. So it was important for us to get access to travel agencies, but we also had to bring them together under an idea and in forming a community which is loyal to our product, which is loyal to our area of operation. So those people who we could engage in working with our product, so those people who could be engaged and whose potential in terms of knowing our product we could use, and that would give us a combined effect. Another thing, the third reason, the point of contact, as they call it in digital marketing. So loyalty program for us was that point of contact. So a point of contact with a travel agency, and a travel agency for us is a point of contact with an end customer. Because, well, you can see for yourselves, how can a tour operator influence an opinion or desire of a person to travel somewhere? You can influence that desire by having the right product, of the right quality at the right price. Travel agency has all this by default because they represent products from particular tour operators. Because in the current conditions, a travel agency is seldom linked to a particular tour operator. They have access to, or they can tap into online resources. They have access to product portfolio of a variety of tour operators. Something very truly important which the travel agency has: access to the end customer. They face end customers. They know, so the emotional intellect and knowledge of a travel agency is something which will finally define the choice of a traveler.
What are the outcomes? What do we have as a result of finalizing this program, Profit.Travel Loyalty? Point one, we have now access to a large number of agencies. About 10,000 agencies of people participated in this program. So 10,000 people, because at the end of the day, they are people. This was a pretty long-lasting program. It worked throughout the year, and it included all the marketing tools available. It included educational programs, news distribution, email marketing, as well as the advertising tour that we organized as a major motivator for joining this program. As a result of this advertising tour, we have had 15 leaders or ambassadors, as we call them. They are passionate people who are part of a community and who will be the leading force of this community, who are inspired by this Abu Dhabi product, and who, I'm confident, will help us to transform these 15 leaders into 1,500 or maybe 15,000 inspired people. A few pictures, a few feedback messages. These are the results that I have mentioned. These are the numbers that I promised I will not mention. You can see them for yourselves. And this is an example which speaks for itself. Look at the date. It's just 1 month, just one tour operator. And within that month, the conversion was 300 bookings. And now imagine that if this is a large-scale destination, if this is a product which will run in a program throughout the year, the conversion can be even greater. So I believe that the loyalty program gave us everything we talked with Losha on the day where we met and with what I started our dialogue. Moreover, we are looking into the future, and we are jointly preparing a whole new integration motivation program, which will be part of the loyalty program, which will run both online and offline to communicate with the tourism community of Russia and the markets where we work. Thank you very much, Eduard. I'm so grateful to you for your presentation. And just imagine 6,000 tourist agencies in Russia and CIS. They have been dreaming about becoming those 15 leaders and going to Abu Dhabi. Just imagine that your destination is the dream of 6,000 tourist agencies in Russia. And those guys have really been very active. And thank you very much, the Abu Dhabi Tourism Department. As a result, the agencies fell in love with each other, fell in love with Abu Dhabi and with Profi.Travel. And as we are speaking now, those guys have their own chat, Loyalty Profi.Travel. And they just told me, hi, will there be anything else about loyalty? And I told them, yes. And they've been actively discussing how they are going to book Abu Dhabi next year. This is how this program made them really loyal, really dedicated and devoted. And we thank our partners for this opportunity. A round of applause, please. And now, one more case with our partners, not Profi.Travel. And I invite Kristina Ionitska, Deputy CEO for Catalonia, to our office. I've already introduced Kristina as the chairman of Outdoor, so she's both here and there. And now the case of Catalonia. Fans meet fans. You are welcome, Kristina. Good morning once again. And now I am representing Catalonia, my favorite destination. Our tourist office turns 25 this year, and we've been through all the stages throughout those 25 years. And now we have moved on to the ultra-modern trends, such as online. Unlike the previous speaker, Grigory, I'm going to tell you not about how to work online with the professional tourist community, but I will tell you about some examples of our working with the end users. Even though the Catalonian office works with all our partners, including tour operators, tourist agencies. These are our key partners on the Russian market. But today I will tell you about how we work with tourists directly. A few words about the general trends that you are perfectly aware of, and Catalonia really focuses on them. Today, when people look for online tourist destinations, they are looking for something new, something original and authentic, which would really be the local love, as they put it. And Catalonia, along with a general page on all the social media, has also made its own website where you can get a feeling of Catalonia. And of course, this should be of interest to women because 80% of decision makers in terms of travel are women. Of course, this should be about food, and Catalonia has a great cuisine. We were chosen as the leader of the gastronomic sector, and of course, we must be a responsible tourism sector, because last year has been the year of responsible tourism in Catalonia. And another trend is that this should be something active and sporty. And this is what we are focusing on as well. And I will give you an example in this area as well. This is our web page, which is called Catalonia Experience. And it has about 1 or 2 million subscribers on Facebook, 200,000 on Instagram, and it takes the 14th place among top tourist brands, 53,000 subscribers on Twitter. And we also have a Catalonia Experience web page on YouTube, where there are 6.5 thousand subscribers. And according to the cloud rating, the influence in the social media, we are on the 79th place. So we are really influential. We are just lagging behind a little bit behind Australia, but we have outstripped the United States. We have several different programs, and we are working under those programs with Catalonia advisors. These are video artists, online artists, and also ambassadors of the Catalonian brand. We have provided several tours for the artists, and here is the result of this trip. It's called the Barcelona Go. You can see it on the screen. Maybe some of you have already seen it, but this video got 1.8 million views. And this is a new video. It's just a small example of how we work with one of the famous video bloggers, video makers. This is Olga Astrologo, a video artist who works all over the world. And her videos have gathered more than 2 million clips. And this is a brand new clip which was published last week. Just look at the quality of this video. Now let's stop video and go to the next page. And I advise you to look at this video. It's really amazing. Not because just I love it, but because it's really beautiful. And we also have a program of working with brand ambassadors for Catalonia. And there are different people who work with this brand. You can see some of them on the screen. This is Carlos Piol, the famous football player of Barcelona. Furthermore, for architect fans, it's Benedetta Tagliabue. It's an Italian architect, but she's been living in Barcelona for many years, and she even came to Moscow with her projects, such as the creating of a beautiful Barcelona market, Santa Caterina in Moscow. And there's also a famous runner, famous athlete who has won a lot of running contests in the mountains. Artius Bertrand, he's not from Catalonia, he is French, but he also does the promotion of Catalonia, and we've had a beautiful project with him. You've probably heard about Bertrand. He is a great air photographer. It was the project Catalonia from above, and we also had a partnership with three brothers who set up a restaurant, which is one of the best restaurants in the world. Because when we mentioned cuisine, this is really one of the attractions for tourists who choose this destination. Here you can see the influence of our video advisors and ambassadors of the brand. And this is what we also do online. Catalonia has worked together with Google to create a street view for pedestrian walks in Catalonia. And right now, Catalonia is a region where there are a lot of tourist walks and paths that you could see in the 3D format. Here, for example, you can see a national park in the Catalonian mountains where you can walk along all those pedestrian walks and paths without even leaving your home, just being in front of the screen of your telephone or computer. And what else are we doing? This is a joint project with our partners, because Catalonia has a lot of partners from other business sectors. Some of them also do tourism, such as the outlet La Roca Village or the Vueling airline. This is a low-coster which has been very active over the past 15 years. And we also have Formula One, another partner. And there are also some breweries that make their beer in this region. And I would also like to tell you about a very interesting partnership that we have had over many years between Barcelona, the football club, and Catalonia. This is a beautiful slide, but unfortunately it was copied from Mac, so I could not open it, and I will show it to you later. Why the football club Barcelona? Because this is a football club which has the greatest number of fans all over the world. If you look at the social media, this football club has 280 million subscribers in various social media, such as 41 million on Twitter and so on. Another 30 million subscribers for the Barcelona Football Club are dedicated to different web pages with the history of the football club and so on. So it's really a very interesting partner. And why is it interesting for Barcelona to work with Catalonia? If you are a football fan and if you know the slogans of this club, they always say Visco Barça, Visco Catalonia. And in Catalonian it means hooray to Barça, hooray to Catalonia, because this football club is really attached to the region where it performs. And there's also another club, Espanyol, who also plays in Barcelona, but they do not identify themselves with this location so much. And sometimes they do PR of the Caribbean countries. So, of course, it's up to you to decide. But for Barcelona, this is one of their slogans. So, for us, it's more than just a club. It's the identity and the spirit of Catalonia. This is what they represent, and this is why they decided to become a partner of the Tourism Office of Catalonia. And this is why they promote our region all over the world. And you can see this football T-shirt of Messi, who has the logo of Barcelona and the logo of Catalonia. And during the broadcast of a match, we show our Catalonian video clips. There are our logos on the field. And what we also do is some joint posts for our fans, for the fans of the Barcelona Football Club. And now I would like to tell you about this campaign that we have had for 3 times with the Barcelona Football Club. It is called Fans Meet Fans. So, what is it about? On Barcelona's football club website, as well as on our social media and channels, we launched this project where anyone could subscribe and participate in a lottery to win a trip to Catalonia to get to a football match of the Barcelona Football Club. And during this 4-day trip before the match, they also travel around different nooks and crannies of Catalonia, and they see something that attaches this region with the Barcelona Football Club. For example, they go fishing to the sea on a sailor's boat. This is another popular tourism trend. And a fisherman shows how to catch fish, and he is also a fan of the Barcelona Football Club. He shares some jokes and so on. Or they go to a restaurant and they have a dessert with a flag of the Barcelona Football Club.
Or they come to a meeting with the Rocco brothers, the famous chefs, and Jordi Rocco tells them about the dessert which is liked by Messi, and gives them a recipe how to prepare this dessert. So this is a trip which helps you visit all unique parts of Catalonia and can give you a unique experience. But at the same time, it's a way to promote ideas of, let's say, a user about Barcelona Football Club. So finally, that program resulted in 43 million people knowing more about Catalonia. And in this particular case, we were not promoting particular trips or product. We promoted Catalonia as a brand. And all countries in the world participated in that program because that was focused on international markets mostly. We had 70,000 subscribers to our micro website, and 110,000 people visited this website. So that was a pretty good result to start with. And this time we had it for the 3rd time, and we see a lot of upshot for Catalonia and for Barcelona Football Club, who wanted to get more and more subscribers and who wanted to get personal details for the participants in the contest. It wasn't actually a contest, it was more of a lottery, so you didn't have to answer any questions, but it was a lottery, but very seriously organized, so there was a number of lots played, and finally there was a winner. A brother and a sister from Latin America won the main prize. I'll just play you this video showing the results of that lottery. So after these trips, now we had 3 of them, we prepare a video fragment, 441,000 views we got for the recent video fragment.
Ребята-победители последнего конкурса.
So here you can see the winners of the recent contest.
Ну вот как пример такого совместного.
Just an example of a joint project. And I think every tourist destination has a well-known travel partner. So we suggest that you should find out more about this one. So wish you luck, new ideas, and see you soon. Thank you very much, Christina, for a very interesting talk and for an excellent video, and also for a very good idea, because in marketing your partners can help you to reach out for big audiences. So go for the right partners, go for bigger reachers, because it works. And our next speaker is Marina Kuzina, and while she is coming up on stage, I'll take time to introduce her. She represents the Department of Tourism in Bahrain, and I just can't help sharing my personal impressions with you. I talked to Marina several times before, and Bahrain's marketing and advertising campaigns are one of the best in the market. So listen to what Marina has to say. So be smart, follow Bahrain. Thank you very much, Alessia, and thank you very much for making it today here, despite the challenging weather conditions. So it's true Russian winter out there. And today I would like to tell you about the true summer. I'd like to tell you about a country which is located in a warm sea, and which recently decided to take advantage of its geographical location and accommodate more and more tourists. So Bahrain and the Department of Tourism in Bahrain, we were organized not very long ago, and we had to ramp up the number of tourists from scratch. So, and travel operators and travel agencies had absolutely no idea what Bahrain is about. So we ran a questionnaire among tour operators and travel agencies. What do you know about Bahrain? And there was a lot of options. Like somebody said it's a city, somebody said it's an emirate, but almost no one knew that beaches are available there, and it's a kingdom. So we started letting people know that it is very safe and it is very attractive and it's worthwhile going there. So it was a new destination. Travel operators almost had no information about it. So 70% of our work in the first year was in B2B segment. So we had to work with tour operators and travel companies, but that share will shrink shrunk in future because our travelers are very active and they decide on their own where they want to go. So it's a very interesting country, and once the tourists decided to go there themselves, tour operators will be forced to follow suit and to start establishing links with Bahrain. We work in digital segment not only with Bahrain but also with our end consumers, our end customers, and in digital segment, in digital area, we actually work with them more than with the travel operators. So we need to communicate a consistent picture of Bahrain, saying that it's a new destination. It's very safe. There are beaches available there, and it is extremely interesting and new. So what did we do last year to pursue this objective? Our key task is to convert the uncertainty into the desire to visit this country and look at it with your own eyes. So any kind of a contest, as like Christina has mentioned today, any kind of activity is a lot more attractive than just direct advertising. And this is what we focused on. We ran a number of contests on a radio station, on a website of our partner who is selling online trips, or like online travel agency. And there was one mandatory point. When you have a contest on a website of a travel agency, that contest needs to be supported by third-party resources. So we use theme banners, and these technologies are becoming more and more advanced today. So you can track location of the person, you can know that he or she traveler is commuting in Moscow on a daily basis. They are getting connected to Wi-Fi networks. They are downloading applications. Let's say a user has 3 applications which are looking for airline tickets. That means that that user is interested in traveling. That's part of your target audience. And you can focus that particular user, so you can have targeted advertising. Yes, it is more costly in terms of the cost per click. So we supported one of our partners by programmatic banners, and it was at the cost of 130 rubles per click, which may seem quite a high price for those who normally pay for a click in Yandex or Google. But given the fact that those were the clicks from our target audience, and we believe that that was worthwhile, and the conversion rate justified that. So 130 rubles per click, but we are fairly happy with the outcome. So we got calls in the office, and people said, well, we watched an advert from of Bahrain. Do you think I should go there? Is it an interesting trip? So, but we never leave our contact details there, because we work with our partners. It's like a win-win partnership, because our partners want to increase the popularity of their Facebook pages, for example. And when we ran that contest on a radio station, we didn't say a word about, let's say, here is the Bahrain Tour Travel Department and there is the contact number. But we got a lot of calls from people saying, we heard that radio program about Bahrain, how can I book a trip, and so on and so forth. So as travel agencies, you will probably not be able to track a specific number of people who decided to go to Bahrain after they listened to that radio program. But there are other ways, though, and we have a very interesting case of a company of Kino, or in the cinema. This is a program which we had before, and now we have the same project with Bahrain. Sunny Fairy Tale in Bahrain. We have that project in Formula Kino cinemas. These are premium segment cinemas, and this is a project which is not quite cheap, I would say. That requires substantial resources, but that will bring you a flexible partnership, let's say, with cinemas. If you want that contest to have on your to be placed on your own website, you can have it there, or you can have it on your partner's website. If, for example, your partner is seeking higher traffic on the website. But the point is that you will have the targeted traffic. Those people who can spend 500 or 1,000 rubles per cinema ticket, that means they can also have money to travel. Even and a hint, or let's say a life hack. It needs to be very, very straightforward. We have just 2 questions in that contest, a question and several options, and you need to share this on your Facebook page. Judging by my experience, I can say that it is likely that the contest will be won by somebody who never was in the cinema and is probably not from Moscow, but it is seen and shared by Facebook community. So for us, it is important to expose more and more people to the information about our country. Like, for example, one of the mandatory conditions for the winner can be to like your page on the Facebook, and more people get exposed to the contents of your page, especially if it is relevant. If you work with a travel operator, a tour operator as a partner, and if that tour operator will have just a logo on the screen, on the website, then there probably will not be a huge upshot from this project for that particular tour operator, especially if he can support that with a discount, like a 10% or even 20% discount. Or a tour operator can get a bigger result if he runs such campaign on his or her own. Another benefit is omnichannelity. So it is omnichannel. You have leaflets there, you have information posted on the Facebook page of the cinema, you have a mailing list, and when you get connected to the Wi-Fi network in the cinema, you get an advertisement of that particular program and that particular campaign. So we expect up to 15,000 live users to participate in this program. So it's quite a considerable number of people. So that's what it looks like now. And if you decide to go to a cinema shortly, please feel free to participate. We do not introduce any limitations for the employees of the travel agencies, and that is also supported by commercials on the screen. So before the movie is actually played. So the commercial about Bahrain, it needs to look very attractive. It needs to feature video of beach activity of the sea, and it is especially efficient in winter, in the weather like the one we have today, where when people want to go somewhere for a sunny spell. And I'd like to give you a couple of pieces of advice. So every time you run an activity of this kind, please try to make it omni-channel. Have supported online, offline, announce it on a radio broadcast. That will not necessarily make people to come and participate, but that will send a message. That will make people hear that something interesting is going on. And that's a lot more engaging than a statement like, please come to our kingdom and take a great rest on the beach. So contests are always a lot more engaging. And I'd like to stop here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Marina. Very interesting talk. And I'd like to remind you that we have tour operators and representatives from national tourist offices. We have 830 registered users for our the broadcast is viewed by more than 230 users from Tunis, Kyrgyzstan, Arab Emirates, and a number of other countries. So we are delighted to see this huge interest displayed by our viewers. And I'm delighted to announce our next speaker today, Katerina Lopukhina, the marketing director from the National Organization of Tourism of Korea. Just a brief word of introduction. Ekaterina before told me we have nothing unusual, like an Olympic contest and the Medusa publications, and I thought, well, we should ask them to deliver a talk. Thank you very much for Profi.Travel for inviting us to participate in such an interesting event, and we are delighted that you paid attention to the experience we have in the digital marketing area, and that will not be in vain because 90% of our budget after 90% of our budget is spent on digital promotion, both in B2B and B2C segments. And we are focusing on reaching out to tourists who book tickets and trips themselves, but we also work with travel agencies. In Russia, we have been working in Russia for quite a long time. We have 2 offices here. I work in the Moscow office responsible for Russia from Kaliningrad to Khabarovsk, and countries like Ukraine, Belarus, and the Baltic states, and some Eastern Europe countries. And our strategy implies keeping people interested in tourism, business tourism, and medical tourism. But we have a number of challenges, as our country is not well known by the Russian people. There are some stereotypic fears, and in some cases users mistake us for North Korea. In some cases, they believe that it's one and the same country. So we need to communicate the right information about our country, why you should travel to Korea, what is out there to see, and we should be going for a bigger reach.
Get our main ideas across to a large number of representatives of our target audience. And our target audience are active tourists, those who want to walk around a lot and to spend a lot. High-income population from 25 till 45. That's our main core. And now I am moving on to our business cases. We also do contests like everyone. But why I want to show you this contest? It's not simple, it's the Olympic contest. And the name of this contest was Sports Will Help You Get to South Korea. And the fact is that to organize this contest, we needed to get a lot of permissions, including from some South Korean authorities. But finally, we got this permission in order to use the words Olympic, and we wrote very specifically where we are going to use these words. Furthermore, we used the reference mechanics to make sure that we have this big coverage, large involvement. The advantages of this mechanics is that about 80,000 users came to our website within the 6 weeks of the contest. Of course, there was also the advertising, but about 80,000 visits were thanks to this reference or referral mechanics. So we got a lot of activity. 20,000 people participated in the first stage, 7,000 in the second stage, and that was because we have a very little advertising. This is how the banner used in the social media looked like. We supported this context media, the social media. We gave context advertising. Our tour operators prepared some tourist packages. They were not Olympic because our goal was to tell people about Korea, what to do there, so that people can get on our website, look at this interactive map, look at those questions, answer them, and Get the prizes. Our main KPI's advantage was that there were about 120,000 transfers to the website, 3 times more than we had planned. The next case is our cooperation or partnership with bloggers. I'm now telling you everything about the Moscow office. Of course, the international marketing office does a lot of big projects, and we only started working with bloggers this year, or actually with one blogger. We talked to different agencies, and we finally found this wonderful girl, Irena Ponaroshko. And actually, we used the PR freelance. It's a student who is in close contact with everyone, and she advised us to work with Irena. And our criterion was to find a media, a well-known figure, a recognizable figure who could be our ambassador. And as I said, Korea is an expensive destination, which we call simple luxury. So this should be an intelligent, active, and solvent person with a good sense of humor. We also wanted to promote medical tourism so that Irena visits a number of clinics. And finally, after we did these negotiations with Irena, so she didn't ask for a fee, just a press tour. So we agreed with her to that she provides a lot of stories, but actually she even published more stories. You can see 11 publications in Instagram. We got 400,000 likes, 4,000 comments, about the coverage of about 3 million and so on. So the numbers are very impressive. And most interestingly, after this press tour, we actually squeezed Irena to the maximum. She agreed to give a number of interviews. And so this is how we finished the story. It was published on paper and online because this was interesting to Irena, because right now she's a heroine of Instagram TV, but not a lot of things are written about her in the newspapers, which is why she was interested, and we got a lot of publications and interviews from her about how interesting it is in South Korea. And of course, everyone works with direct platforms, and we chose this year what we call Medusa portal. We are very happy to work with this portal. They have very good offers and great formats that provide information and new materials in a very clear-cut way, so that our future tourists can really absorb it. The topic of our cooperation was medical tourism. We did these cards with Medusa, and we had a provocative logo or slogan: going to South Korea. Why? And actually, the level of medicine is very high in South Korea. About 30,000 tourists go to South Korea for a treatment, and I'm not even talking about plastic surgery and cosmetology. We also published 3 materials which we did together with medical agencies, because we are a non-commercial organization, but we have medical partners who can provide services such as sending to South Korea for a treatment. And after this material was published, there was a number of calls, and 15 tourists were sent for a treatment to South Korea. So for medical tourists, this is really a wow figure, because we are very glad, and of course we are going to continue to cooperate with them in such promising formats. Thank you very much. Ekaterina, thank you. I can see that you have really advanced methods and cases, and 15 bookings is really excellent for such a product. And we are also familiar with another term, simple luxury, because we have to know the terms even in the digital sector. So I will remember this term, simple luxury. Thank you. And the last speaker in our section will provide you a very nice and likable video. So I suggest that we switch off the lights in this room to make the maximum impression. Out of France, Inessa Korotkova, the regional director in Russia and CIS for France, and her colleague Maria Verbova. This is the viral videos and influential marketing in action. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Good afternoon, our dear online audience. We are beyond the contest program together with Maria, who does digital promotion in our office. A couple of words about the project itself, about our case. First, my colleagues have already mentioned how they distribute their efforts between digital promotion and in our office. B2B is really a very important thing, and B2B is a more traditional format of interaction with our professionals from the tourist offices. And we've been working with them since 2011.
Я бы сказала, прагматично.
We prefer more pragmatic ways of interacting with tour operators and travel agencies. And talking about B2B audience, I think digital accounts for probably 20% of our interaction with that audience. And I can't help mentioning very positive experience with Profi.Travel, which we had last year, and we had a project about Paris with them. As far as B2C is concerned, 80% of our work and interaction is on a digital basis. I would say we live in the digital world, we live in the digital environment, and nothing can be done about it. But at the same time, going for digital technologies is a pragmatic choice, taking into account the available resources, both human and financial. So feel Paris. Why Paris? Well, because you all know that in 2015 and 2016, tragic events happened in the French capital, and that resulted in a diminishing number of tourists traveling to Paris. And I think in case of Russia, this is more related to other reasons, like those of economic nature. But anyway, French government has taken unprecedented measures to promote the image of Paris and France from the tourist perspective.
Усилия всех
And really, all the institutional efforts of our partners have resulted in the fact that this was Paris and France, who still was the first tourist destination. And in 2017, we had huge growth. According to the preliminary data, it was about 88 or 89 million of tourists who visited France that year. And this growth keeps going up. So this is a project of a joint commission with Eldo France, and all our projects are those with partnerships. So we had Lafayette Gallery and other partners. And I can also add that our digital projects consist by 80% of our website. We have a France.fr, a new website which will be launched in April, and Maria is actively working with it. So, Maria, a few technical aspects of this project, please. Good afternoon, everyone. And I can tell you that we have had a very ambitious project, and it's for the first time that during the history of our office that we made a video project. We chose 5 influencers, and you can see them on the screen. This is the new star, the rising star, the singer Manisha. We also have Sergei Yaroshenko, a famous cook, Mr. Saksyan, the founder of Cosmoteca, the niche boutiques, and we also have Mark Jurila. I love super sport, a very popular person loved in many sports projects. And we also have Katya Debrikova, a famous Russian designer. And now that we have had this very ambitious project, we have done videos with those heroes. So according to KPIs, we wanted to have a great coverage, and this is where we got. We really got great results within 3 months of our advertising campaign. We got about 30,000 unique visitors. The coverage was more than 6 million, and the tools that we chose were context advertising, Yandex and Google, SMM Facebook, Instagram, and Kontakte. And we also used our own subscriptions and enroll premium advertising. And our influencers also posted their own videos. This is the first experience for us. And what do you think about France, particularly Paris? This influence marketing is something natural, and we are really grateful to all the participants of this campaign, because I think that on the one hand, we have made a great step forward in our understanding of digital marketing. We have had great experience. We have had great result. The production of this project is really huge. And I can tell you that these videos were done here in Moscow, so I suggest that you have a look at it. There are 5 videos, and we will have a look at some of them. My name is Manisha. I'm a musician, an artist, and a person of the world. I think Paris is a city of lonely people, those who can just stay alone, and architecture, the quiet rhythm, those cafes, this delicious coffee, and the music in your headphones, they all help you. I don't have any one answer as to why a person should be in Paris alone. Just take a ticket and try it. This is a city of enjoyment. Everyone has his or her own type of enjoyment, and music is one of such enjoyments because it's just one of such pleasures. Because when you're in Marais, it's very nice there. You want to move around, you want to meet people, you want to go to shops and listen to fast music, and then you're inside an unusual temple where it's actually very quiet. And on Pompidou Square, there are some musicians who give concerts, and it's really very nice. I have heard some very special voices. I've also been at a festival, the Night of Music in Paris, and wherever you go that night, music plays around there. When I looked at that festival, I decided to be its participant. I also like the Shakespeare bookstore close to Rotterdam. And in this shop, there is a special piano on the second floor. I wrote a lot of music in Paris. Some of them are in my album, but some of them are not published yet. I have a composition, Black Swan, which I wrote there, and when I publish it, I will write that you certainly need to listen to this music when you are alone in Paris. Listen to Paris and try the taste of champagne under this music. And of course, This would really be great. There will be a lot of words like this. So it's going to be a beautiful song, really beautiful. Applause, please. Thank you. I think that the sincerity is really important in this campaign. The other videos are on France Fair, so we suggest that you look at it, and your feedback would also be interesting. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. I was really amazed by this video. And I want to tell you that it's digital, but it's about channels and tools. And the real promotions are done by ambassadors. And this is really very important. And here we are finishing the OTM Digital Days first part.